Hey guys, my name's Sam and welcome to Prep Medic. This week's video, we're reviewing 3 in the waistband everyday carry options for medical items from Immediate Casualty Care. As you guys know, medical items and everyday carry are a huge portion of this channel, and I like to bring you guys as many different options for carrying medical items as possible because I want to appeal to the most people and get the most people carrying medical items. With that being said, keep in mind this is not for everybody. This is not going to work for everybody. Not everybody's going to like these. And if this isn't for you, I have other videos on ankle kits, on plate carrier kits, on things you can throw in your backpack or in your pocket, and you can go check those out. I'll try to leave some links in the description, but I'm not always the best on actually doing that. So this week's video, we are discussing 3 items from the Immediate Casualty Care, and they saw my video on the Velocity Systems in the waistband medical kit here, and they said, hey, I think we can do this cheaper and we can do this better. Would you mind reviewing our products? I said, yes. I don't make any money off these guys, but they did send me the kits in front of you for free. So keep that in mind watching the video, but I do try to keep this as unbiased as possible. All right, so let's start with the main kit here that they sent. Now, this guy is the In the Waistband Flat 2.0. And as you can see, it is elastic fabric all the way around. And on the front, you have 3 large pockets. One that's specifically made for a tourniquet and then other supplies on either side. And this guy has these 2 belt clips. They have a name for them, but I forget the name of these clips. And these are meant to go over your belt, but the pack is supposed to go in or in your waistband there. So this is best for a belt. It's not going to work if you're not wearing a belt quite as well. When I first got this kit, I thought, wow, this thing seems absolutely monstrous. And you can see, compared to the Velocity Systems kit, it is quite a bit bigger. And I was actually pretty worried about that. Like, I got this, I was like, no, there's no way in hell that this is going to actually be a viable option. Lo and behold, I just threw this in the pants that I was wearing and clipped it on, and it is the most comfortable in the waistband pouch that I have used. It's so big, it spreads out the load throughout your pants, so I was wearing it kind of, you know, at that 6 o'clock, going a little bit more towards 9 o'clock on my pants, and it is super, super comfortable. With that being said, it is relatively hard to access the items. So where some other in the waistband options have this pull tab to like help get the items out of the case itself, this is very minimalist, which means it's much flatter, but also you do have to dig down into the pockets. It's not that big of a deal. However, every little bit of ergonomics counts, especially when you're under stress, so just take that into account with these kits. Now, this can carry as much or as little as you want. So I just have this loaded out as kind of like a demo more than anything. This isn't necessarily what I'd keep in it, but in this pocket, I've got some chest seals and some quick clot gauze. On this side, I have a pressure bandage from North American Rescue. Yeah, North American Rescue. And you can see when I take those out, this goes completely flat. It's not bulging at all. There's no issues. So if you don't want to carry something in one of these pockets, it's no issue. Same with the cat tourniquet here. It's in there, comes out. Now this thing's completely flat and you're not even going to notice it if you don't have anything in there, which is pretty cool because some other ones have pretty bulky fabric and this really is about as minimalist as you can get. It reminds me a lot of the Dark Angel medical ankle kit I was carrying for years. It was just elastic and some bungee cords. And I liked it because it was so minimalist and I don't want to have a lot of bulk when I'm carrying this stuff on me. Now, with these, you can fill these up like to crazy amounts, but you are going to print quite a lot. And I would say with pretty much these supplies in the waistband setting, it's going to be harder to get away with just wearing a t-shirt and not have it printing a little bit. That being said, people aren't looking for printing. It's also medical items, so if like it pops up, nobody's going to think twice about it. They might think you're a little bit weird, but that's okay. They probably thought you were weird anyways. So with this, I really like it. I think the cost on this right now, as of making this video, is $34.99. which is pretty great considering that this guy right here is still, like a year later after it came out, $110 empty without any supplies. And then I think when you add supplies to this guy, it's like 200 bucks. They do not sell supplies. They have recommended supplies for the immediate casualty care kits. So you can look at it, be like, this is what we think it should go into it. And you can go buy those separately, but it is not something that you can buy with the kit as far as I know on their website. So this is one option. Now, one thing I did forget to mention is you can buy this one with utility clips or utility clips. I don't know what they're called. UD clips. These guys right here, which we'll go over in a second. So you can actually select what clips you want. And if you bought this and you wanted to switch it out, it's pretty easy. You could just unscrew that, screw a different one back in, and do whatever you want there. I will say that this will fit any brand of tourniquet. You can get anything that is TCCC recommended, and you can throw this in here. It's going to work, no problem, which is kind of nice that it's not meant for specific supplies. All right, so the next one we're going to talk about here is very similar to the first one, but it is a little bit smaller and it utilizes one clip. If I was going to carry one of these every day, I don't do a ton of in the waistband carry because I already have my firearm in there, and this makes it a little bit bulky. But if I was going to start carrying these like regularly, this is probably the one I'd go to. Now, this guy right here is the in the waistband tuckable, which means that this clip right here has a little gap right there, so you can actually tuck your shirt into it. You can have a dress shirt or a button-down shirt over it and actually get it down into your pants instead of just having it hang out there for everybody to see. Now, this guy has a couple more pockets and it's a little bit smaller, which is nice, especially if you have a smaller waist circumference here. So in this one, I just threw some other demo things in there. We've got tourniquet in there, and once again, this will fit pretty much anything you want. I will say that this pocket isn't like specifically made for tourniquet, so it was a little bit wide for this guy right here, but the SOF tourniquet does fit, and once you put this under your belt, it cinches everything down to your body, and there's really no issues with it coming out. And then in this one, I just threw a thing of packing gauze, and in the back pocket, we've got some hyphen chest seals. You can definitely put a lot more in here. So this guy's pockets layout, we have two pockets right here. So one, and then another one here, and then you've got this big pocket in back, which I just had the hyphen chest seals kind of sitting sideways in it. You can fit a lot of stuff in here. It doesn't necessarily have to be medical items. Like, that's their intention here. But if you have other stuff and supplies you want to carry with you discreetly, this is a great way to do it. Now, on the other side, you have the same pockets. You have 1, 2. I wouldn't load this with a ton of stuff on here just because it is more compact. It's going to bulge a little bit more, but you can put a ton in this. And then in the front, you have these two pockets. I don't know if they're really intentional as pockets, but you can throw like an ARS needle, pen, pencil, Sharpie, whatever to mark your tourniquet right in this center pocket. And this guy here, like I was saying, has the clip. So these things are super high quality. They actually came on some of the knives that Dagger and Nutt was selling, the Prep Medic branded ones. And these guys are awesome. Now, this is not meant to go over your belt like the clips are from this guy. What these are better at is actually going on the waistband of your pants. So if you take these and you put this under your belt on the waistband, then put your belt over it, that's a great way to carry. If you have a thin enough belt, it'll still work, but it's just not necessary. So I actually really like these, and they keep it even a little bit more discreet, because if your belt is exposed, if you're using this as its tuckable feature allows you to, then you won't actually see the clip on your belt, and there's no questions asked there. So another great option, and this guy right here runs $39.99 with this clip. Now, keep in mind, these prices are subject to change. You know, we're in a time of unprecedented inflation, especially in like medical and anything like at all tactical that might be utilized in, I don't know, a war zone. So these prices, I don't know if they've gone up on here, but medical items and carry items have gone up astronomically pretty much across the board. So this might change, it might go up, might come down in the future. Last but not least, we have the tourniquet holder. Now this guy is just an in the waistband tourniquet pouch. And you know, one thing I really appreciate these guys is there's no ridiculous acronyms. Like I know what everything means on the site. I'm not sitting here trying to memorize their silly little name. It's an in the waistband tourniquet pouch. And this like everything else, can fit any kind of tourniquet on the market pretty much. This will fit pretty much everything, and everything that is TCCC recommended. So in here, I just have a cat because a cat's kind of a middle of the road bulky tourniquet. You can definitely go smaller, you can definitely go bigger, but it fits very securely in there. And like I said, when you put your belt over it, it's going to cinch it down and you don't have any issues with it coming out. Once again, this felt really big to me because I'm used to kind of seeing these minimalist small tourniquet pouches, but this fits it pretty perfectly and feels really comfortable in the waistband. I think the one kind of weird thing here, and maybe it's a feature they intended, is you've got this like pass through, this loop of fabric here. And I guess you could put like it on your belt and hang down, but that doesn't really make a ton of sense. This is a rash guard here, so it keeps it more comfortable. I just don't understand why there's so much excess fabric in here. They might have a reason. I'm sure somebody will comment, be like, oh, it's for this, and it'll make total sense. I just don't know it. You could put something horizontally in this, I suppose, as well. So this is another great option, and like everything else, you can choose if you want the clip or if you want the clip that goes over the belt, depending on your preference. And it's very easily adjustable. So you see on all of these have different places we could put the screws. You could move it up or down depending on how you want to carry this tourniquet. Access to this guy is really easy. This is probably the easiest medical item to get because you do have something that's exposed automatically at the top. Conceals very well, and it's very easy to carry a tourniquet with this. This guy is currently out of stock on their website. The price for it is $24.99. I've got my computer up there. I'm looking at it because I can't memorize anything to save my life. But actually relatively cheap for a tourniquet holder. And like we were talking about earlier, there's a lot of competitors on the market that will charge you a lot more for these items. So all in all, I think these things are great. They don't look great. I'll be completely honest with you. I got it. I was like, man, this just, it feels less refined, I guess. But that's just a feeling because you actually use it. It holds up fine. I carried these for a couple days, not like extensive use, but enough to get a feel for them, see if it was something I'd actually be willing to carry. They work well. They store everything you need to store. You don't have to like kind of get really down in the weeds of what supplies you're buying. If you buy something that's relatively compact, doesn't matter the brand, it's going to fit in here. Really super comfortable. They just feel like there's a lot of fabric, but once you actually put them on, that feeling goes away entirely, and I can almost guarantee you will forget you are wearing these. So I will leave a link to their website down below. Leave a comment, let me know what you think, and then if you guys end up picking these up, let me know how it goes for you long term. I'm always curious about that. So without further ado, if you've got any questions, leave them in the comments down below, and I will see you next week.